Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and it's the 812th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto this YouTube channel. Just to say, this is an absolute epic and classic battle with a slight rules change. It's a normal 31k rules, but there are no archers, no horse archers, no slingers, and no head hurlers in this particular battle. Okay, so we've changed the rules a little bit. No archers, no horse archers, no head hurlers, and no slingers, okay, in this battle, and that's to go along with the normal 31k rules. This battle was fought on the Nordic woodland map, okay? And what a classic this is. Our first teammate is brother member JGP, and he's unusually got the Germanic faction. Now he's got 8 chosen axemen, 3 knight raiders, 3 berserkers, and 6 cavalry. There where you can see the chosen axemen there. Remember, these have got excellent morale, just like urban cohorts, and they've got effective against armor axes that can cut wide swathes through heavily armored troops like Roman infantry. Make no mistake, those are elite infantry. And then you've got the Knight Raiders here. These guys are good infantry in their own right, but they also bring a fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops and destabilizing them, making them more susceptible to routing there. Okay, so that's 2 of his units. And then of course we move on to the infamous Berserkers, with their 2 hit points, excellent attacking specifications, effective against armor maces, and of course the massive fear factor they bring as well, taking morale away from enemy troops, as we talked about before, destabilizing them, making them more susceptible to routing. Okay, and then you've got the Gothic cavalry. Just check out the specifications on this Gothic cavalry. Very underestimated cavalry, and as you can see, he's got 7 upgrades on them, and experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Unusual to see JGP bringing Germania, so it'll be interesting to see how well he handles that army during the course of the battle. Our next teammate is someone who's called himself OTD Chimrazig, but is in fact Scorpion King SR, and he has got 14 urban cohorts and 5 cavalry. Okay, 14 infantry and 5 cavalry there. And we'll have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he's just got 7 upgrades on his cavalry, and experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack. What I would like to show you here is that he's incorporated an eagle unit into his infantry, and of course that is a morale boosting unit. Okay, so with his infantry general morale bonus and the eagle additional morale bonus there, he's got a lot of morale in his army. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that. Remember, Scorpion King's got no saved armies. He builds custom armies for each particular battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu, get ready for this, has just got 7 infantry. Yes, just 7 infantry, 7 war dogs. Yes, 7 war dogs, and 6 cavalry. Okay, so 7 infantry. Surely they're going to be well upgraded with only 7. No, just gold shield, gold attack on his infantry. Right, and then you've got the war dogs there. How often do you see war dogs? And he's got 7 units of these war dogs. Okay, they bring a fear factor, but I don't think the fear factor is that much. And he's got 7 units of war dogs. How often do you see that on a 31k battlefield? So I'm guessing he's going to have really good cavalry. Count the upgrades there. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. So that takes it out of the elite bracket into the super cavalry bracket. But let me ask you this question. Will 6 fully upgraded cavalry make up for just 7 infantry and 7 war dog units there? What do you think? Very, very unusual 31k army, I think, there by Mantu. Be interested to see what happens. Okay, our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has unusually bought the Carthage faction. And get ready for this. I've got 17 Sacred Band Spearmen. Okay, 17 Sacred Band Spearmen. Very, very old army this is, I'll tell you that, from many years ago. And I'd just like to show you there, most of my units have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience, stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And I believe 4 of my units have just got 7 upgrades on, 1 experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack there. Okay, so there's my 17 Sacred Band Spearmen. Now you'll see why I've bought 17 Sacred Band Spearmen in a minute when you see the enemy team there. So there's our team, quite diverse. You've got Germania with JGP. You've got Rome there with Scorpion King SR. We've got Rome there with Mantu, and Carthage with myself. And what a cracking epic battle this is going to be. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Aurelius, who has unusually bought the Seleucid faction. Now Aurelius has got 9 pikes and 6 cavalry. Okay, 9 pikes and 6 cavalry. Okay, quick look at the upgrades on his pikes there. I'll count them up, 1, 2, 3. So he's got 8 upgrades on his Seleucid pikeman there. And that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And just look at the length of those pikes that our men have got to fight down to try and kill the man on the other end. Oh my gosh, just look at that. And with those upgrades on, those pikes are serious pikes. My guess is he's going to have serious cavalry as well. Yeah, if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 upgrades on his cataphracts there. Remember, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armoured from head to toe. And with 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on them, that's some serious cavalry. As I say, Aurelius doesn't bring Seleucid very often there. So it's nice to see him try a different faction there. And now their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who's bought the Pontus faction. Now he's got 12 pikes, 3 Thracian mercenaries, 4 chariots, and a cavalry general in his Pontus army there. Remember, no archers, no horse archers, no head hurlers, and no slingers in this particular battle. Okay? Quick look at the upgrades on his pikes there, and oh my gosh, 8 upgrades, the same as Seleucid's, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and once again, look at the length of those pikes. I know we've talked about this a lot, but our men have got to try and fight all the way down the length of those pikes to kill the man on the other end. And with those upgrades on, that makes that Pontus army extremely dangerous there. And here's a unit you don't see very often. Thracian mercenaries. How often do you see these guys? And he has fully upgraded them. Okay, let's have a bit of a closer look if you haven't never seen them before. If you look at their swords, they've got curved swords. Can you see the curved swords there? More for hacking instead of stabbing there. And that's, as I say, Thracian mercenaries. Very rare to see them. Plus, he's got a hillman unit as well. Now, this is only light infantry, but you'd be surprised on how tough the hillmen are. Very good. He's got spears, anti-cavalry. And there he's got his cavalry general, Eastern general. Check out the specifications on this Eastern general. Very, very good infantry. Very good cavalry there. And as I say, there you can see the post holding up the banner there. But yeah, good, very good unit there. And of course he's got the infamous chariots there. Remember, these chariots got fantastic attack specifications, a massive fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops. But if they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike and become a menace to both friend and foe alike. So they really are a double-edged sword. I should always urge people to really think before you bring chariots how confident you feel you can handle them. Because as I say, they do kill both friend and foe alike if they run amok. Okay, now their next teammate is somebody called Glorfindel. Now he is a fantastic Medieval 2 player, Medieval Total War 2 player, but he's seen some of our RTW videos and thought he'd like to have some games on RTW, and I believe this is his first ever 4v4 RTW battle. Okay, but he is a great player on Medieval Total War 2. As I say, he's seen our videos and thought he'd give RTW a chance because he could see what a great game it is. He's got mixed upgrades on his pike slit. He's got 6 upgrades on some pikes and 3 on others. So he's really got mixed upgrades on his pikes. So that tells me that he's going to have really good cavalry, I'm thinking there. Okay, as I say, first time I believe that he's ever fought a 4v4 on Rome Total War. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 upgrades on his companion cavalry. So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And remember, this companion cavalry have got a 10 charge bonus, which is one of the biggest charge bonuses in the game. And it'll be interesting to see how he does with Macedon there for his first 4v4 RTW battle. Their last teammate is Brotherhood member Vicox. Now Vicox has got 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. The bog standard 31k old Roman army, 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. So there's the enemy team. It's got potential to be a classic. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd show you my very old-fashioned, old-school Carthage battle formation there. I call this my block formation, because Can you see it's like in a old school, old-fashioned block formation there. A lot of modern players with their spear and pike factions, they spread their spear and pike units out across the battlefield, which can be very effective, but that's a modern way of using them. As a lot of you know that watch our battle videos on very old school, old-fashioned there, it might be a bit of an out-of-date formation, but it'll be interesting to see how well it does. Now, we decided we're going to form over on the right flank there, and as you can see, I'm on the extreme left flank here, so I've got to run all the way over to that right flank because that's where the team has decided we're going to form up. Okay, and I'd just like to show you Scorpion King's positioning of his army here. He's right on the front setup area, front of his setup area there, ready to attack. As we know, Scorpion King, very aggressive, very attacking, usually right from the very start of the battle, and this could well be the same in this one. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, we've literally just pressed start. You'll see Scorpion King taking his army into the woods there. Okay, very aggressive, very attacking tactic there, as we know Scorpion King always is. You'll see here that Barclayman has got a couple of his chariot units there, and you see Barclayman looking like he's moving his Pontus army towards Scorpion King there. But that might not be a very good move because, of course, Scorpion King would like to throw loads of pilers into Barclayman's army. And as I say, I'd just like you to make a note of these chariots because they're going to be used a little bit later on, and I think you're going to be surprised on how effective these chariots are. But as I say, you can see Scorpion King there moving his Julii army towards Pontus there. And as I say, he would love to throw loads of pilers into those Pontus battle formations there, to weaken those units before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting. As we know, Scorpion King, very aggressive, very attacking there. He may well pop out of the woods there to attack Aurelius' Seleucid pikemen here. It looks to me like the enemy are kind of rallying all their troops on the right flank there. Okay, over here you'll see that I'm running my 17 units of Sacred Band Spearman over to that right flank where all our teams forming up. As I said, you can see now why I've bought 17 units of Sacred Band Spearman there when we're fighting Pontus, Seleucid and Macedon. Here's the War Dogs of Mantu there. Fear the War Dogs. How often do we see them? I can't believe he's got 7 units of War Dogs. Very, very unusual there. It'd be interesting to see how well he handles them during the course of the battle. There you'll see Scorpion King. Most of Scorpion King's army is now hidden in the woods. Of course, the general unit can't hide, so you'll always see the general unit, but the rest of his army is hiding. And as I say, you'll see Aurelius there bringing his Seleucid pikemen across. I think Aurelius has got 9 pikes units there, all with 8 upgrades on. Very serious pikes. Can you see Scorpion King moving his Julii army forward there? As I say, he'd like to get within striking distance of the Seleucid pikes or the Pontus pikes so he could throw his pilers into them to cause them, as I say, lots of casualties there before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting there. And you can see here Barclayman bringing his chariots forward. As I say, just make a note of those chariots of Barclayman there. As I said earlier, they're used quite well in this battle. Okay, moving over to this part of the map there, you'll see that Mantu has set his 7 infantry and 7 war dogs there forward there, but you can see that all the enemy units are moving over to our left. There you can see them massing their pikes on that left flank. As I say, Scorpion King got his army in the woods there. As I say, remember, anybody attacking the woods there, the woods kind of slows down the momentum of the attack there. And that's why Scorpion King's got his army in the woods there. He knows that if they attack him in the woods, charge bonuses and just the momentum of moving forward is slowed down a lot by, of course, the trees that enemy units would be kind of walking into, if you see what I mean. But there where you can see there, he got a lot of cavalry and chariots there. Might well want to charge into his flank. He needs to be very aware of that. But as I say, if cavalry or chariots especially charge into the woods, their charge bonus is almost nil because, of course, their momentum is just stopped by the trees there. So that's why Scorpion King has placed his army in the woods there, knowing that it would be very difficult for the enemy to cause him that many casualties when he's in the woods there. Okay, but as I say, you can see here the chariots of Pontus there moving forward. Of course, if Scorpion King moves his troops, that's a different matter altogether, because if any moving troops get hit by cavalry or chariots, they can suffer massive damage there. So once again, Scorpion King's going to have to keep his eye on the enemy cavalry and chariots there, just to see what they're going to do, as he's just sat there at the moment in the woods. But over here you'll see we're now turning our army to face a threat. Just pause the game for a second here. There you can see, you'll find that JGP splits his Germanic army up to 3 mini armies during the course of the battle, and uses them very effectively. I think actually JGP bringing Germania, a barbarian faction, against 3 pike units in Rome, I think that's quite a brave move, really. I mean, you've got Macedon, Seleucid, Pontus there, and of course the Roman army as well. He's going to have to play very carefully with his Germanic army there, because as you know, barbarian troops die really quickly on enemy pikes. So the last thing that he'll want to do with his Germanic army is hit any of those pikes head on. So he's going to have to be extremely tactical, extremely strategic, and very, very battlefield aware as this battle unfolds. Okay, so as I say, I thought very brave JGP to bring a barbarian army, as I say, facing 3 pike armies and Rome there. So as you see, Scorpion King's army is still hiding in the woods there. As I say, he really would like to get close to those pike units, to throw in loads of pilers to cause them battle damage before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting. There, as I say, you can see, it looks to me like Barclayman's keeping these chariots in this particular area for a particular reason. There, it'd be interesting to see how, as I say, Barclayman's going to handle those chariots during the course of the battle. Okay, so as I say, it looks like the enemy are massing their armies on our left flank. I'd just like to show you a nice tactical move by Vicox here, moving his Brutii cavalry round to the rear of our armies there. Can you see how he's coming round the rear there? Nice tactical move there by Vicox. Ready to charge into us once our armies get engaged there. Maybe that's what he's thinking. As I say, you can see the enemy have massed their pikes and Rome there on our left flank. So whether they're going to come through the woods towards us, or whether they're going to stand there and let us attack them, we'll just have to see as the battle progresses there. And I say, over here you'll see you've got the Seleucid cataphracts there. Remember, they've got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. But just look at the number of pikes there. We saw the length of those pikes earlier, and as I say, our men have got to try and fight all the way down the length of those pikes to kill the man on the other end there. And as I say, with Mantu only having 7 infantry and 7 dog units, I think it's going to put a big strain on us here. I'd just like to show you here, can you see that JGP has brought one of his mini armies into the woods there? Of course, they're hiding now, so you can't see them. So as I say, during the course of the battle, JGP does split his Germanic army up into 3 mini armies. And that's the best way to use Germania when you're up against the opponents that we're up against here. As I say, JGP is a very old, wily player there. He'll know that Germania doesn't want to take those pikes on head on, so he'll be looking for a way to get round behind them, or maybe attack the flanks of those pikes there with his mini Germanic armies there. So as I say, you can see Mantu stretched his 7 urban cohorts out in front of our team there. But as I say, over here, the way that Barclayman has got those chariots makes me think that he's planning something here for Scorpion King. It's just the way that those chariots are kind of loitering with intent. Can you see that? He hasn't got them over. Everybody else in their team has moved all their armies over to that other flank, but those chariots have not moved. There, can you see he's just got them, as I say, like almost like loitering with intent. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to do with those chariots. And you can see Scorpion King bringing his usual normal aggressive self, moving forward once again towards the enemy team there. And just as I say, Barclayman leaving those chariots there looks quite innocent, doesn't it? But sneaky Barclayman can strike at any time, as we know. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But as I say, the massed armies of the enemy there, look, they've massed their pikes over there on our flank, and we've now turned to face the threat. But as I say, nice move there by Vicox, taking his cavalry round there. You can see Mantu's looking to shadow them there, and you can see Vicox moving his infantry round this flank as well. So it will be best here, I think, for Mantu to face Vicox there, Rome on Rome, rather than any of our other armies. And as I say, you can see JGP's Germanic army there. As I say, he will not want to take on the enemy head on there, but he will be looking to get his mini Germanic armies into different positions. There's my Carthage Sacred Band there, looking to take on the pikes if I get a chance. But I'm greatly outnumbered, and earlier you saw the length of the enemy pikes there. So it will be a real challenge there, taking them on. Right here, you can see Scorpion King there. Looks like he's going to move again. Now here, can you see that Barclayman looks to me like he's thinking of charging his chariots into the rear of Scorpion King's moving infantry. Right, there you are. You can see he's going to do that. Now remember what we said earlier. Infantry that's moving, that gets hit by cavalry or chariots, will suffer big casualties there, and that's why I think Barclayman's been keeping that chariot loitering with intent, ready for Scorpion King to move his infantry, and then he's going to charge in there, and bang, as he smashes in there. Now what he's hoping for, I think, is that chariot unit's going to run amok. Now remember, when a chariot unit runs amok, it seems to be even more powerful than in normal mode. But look how this chariot is chopping down Scorpion King's red Julii infantry and cavalry. Just look at that. And that's all because Scorpion King's moving his army. You see, his troops aren't set, ready for an attack. They're actually moving. And so that chariot unit is just chopping down Scorpion King's infantry and cavalry there. Just look. Now, I was expecting that chariot unit to have run amok by now, but it certainly isn't. Just look at the damage that it's doing there to Scorpion King's army. I mean, that's just still chopping down loads of his army there. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, as you say, it hasn't even run amok. Look how it's just chopping down these infantry units there, look. And it says distraught by enemy numbers, but it certainly hasn't run amok or routed yet. And what I think he's going to lose loads of his cavalry, Scorpion King is. Chariots there can chop down cavalry like there's no tomorrow. But just look at the dead that one chariot unit has caused already. Just look at all those dead Roman troops of Scorpion Kings there that one chariot has hit. And the reason that chariot could kill so many was because Scorpion King was moving his infantry when it got hit by the chariot unit. As I say, moving infantry or cavalry when it's hit by cavalry or chariots will suffer a lot of casualties. And as I say, look, it's still, okay, it says distraught over the number of enemies, but it's still killing loads of Scorpion King's army there. As I say, I would have expected that chariot to have run amok by now, but it certainly hasn't, and it's still killing his troops. And as I say, chariots, look at all the dead here, look, and chariots can chop down cavalry really quickly. And it looks to me like Barclayman's bringing another chariot over as well. As I say, I think he's hoping these chariots are going to run amok. And as I say, they're stronger in amok mode and kill even more than in normal mode. But look at this chariot here. And there comes the next chariot in behind his troops. Look, bang, as they smash in there as well. Oh my gosh. Oh, you can see one of the chariot units has routed. Now that's going to be a bit disappointing to Barclayman, because that chariot unit has not run amok. It's just routed. Okay, so that unit's just going to leave the battlefield like any other unit, unless it runs amok somewhere else, like. But what he would have liked is that unit to run amok when it goes even stronger, killing even more of Scorpion King's men there. But that other chariot unit he's just charged in, look, is also just chopping down Scorpion King's troops. I mean, I don't know how many troops Scorpion King is going to lose here, but he seems to me to be losing loads, as those chariot units are just chopping them down. Right, so that chariot unit has routed quite quickly, but also that will be also disappointing to Barclayman, because that unit hasn't run amok either. It's just routing like any other unit. But those two chariots there, I think, probably shocked Scorpion King there in how many men he's lost, especially, I think, cavalry. I think he lost a lot of cavalry in that particular battle. Let's have a look. There's a 54-man cavalry unit, look, reduced to 11. There you are, look. Reduced to 11 men from 54. So that just goes to, and look at that unit. reduced to 23 from 54 just from those 2 chariot units smashing into him there. Plus, of course, he's lost a lot of infantry as well. So there you go. It just goes to show, doesn't it, that chariots can be effective when used at the right time. Meanwhile, over here you'll see that Vicox has got cavalry actually right in behind us now. There, stretching his cavalry out. There, and you can see Mantu's matching him there. You can see he's keeping an eye on him there, but you can also see those Seleucid cataphracts of Aurelius there with their 8 upgrades on. You'll see Mantu moving his infantry over, like trying to shadow Vicox's Brutii infantry there. Okay, but as I say, Mantu's just got 7 infantry, 7 dog units, war dog units, and 6 maximum upgraded cavalry there. But only 7 infantry. That possibly could be a problem there. Okay, so now Scorpion King's moved away from where he was hit from those chariots. Remember, he's moved from there over into the woods. Let's look at the dead that those 2 chariot units caused him. Look at all that cavalry. The cavalry was just chopped down by those 2 chariot units there. Just look at all that cavalry that's he's lost. But also, on top of that, look at the infantry that he lost as well. You can see all the dead infantry there as well, going through the woods there. So it just goes to show how battle depleted his units are just from 2 chariot attacks there. I mean, I bet losing especially all that cavalry has kind of shocked Scorpion King a bit, but he's still advancing forward. Let's still being aggressive. As I say, what he really wants to do is get in range of those pikes there so he can throw all his pilers in. Okay, oh, and there you are. Look, that chariot unit has now run amok now. Look, see the banner flashing red? See, look, can you see it running amok there? So it's run amok a bit too late to do even more damage to Scorpion King's army there. So probably a little bit disappointed for Barclayman, because the reason he charged those chariots in there was because he was hoping they were going to run amok and kill even more Scorpion King's troops there. So as I say, they just routed, didn't they? Remember? And he's just decided to run amok now. But if that run amok chariot gets anywhere near Scorpion King's infantry, it really cause him damage. But of course, it could run into its own troops and kill them as well when it runs amok. So there you are. You can see Scorpion King once again being very aggressive there. Killed a lot of Macedonians there. And you can see the Macedonian general turning a pike unit on towards the cavalry there of Scorpion King. And you can see the Macedonian general there with his well upgraded companion cavalry looking to charge forward there into Scorpion King. Okay, over here you'll see Mantu trying to stretch his army out. Remember though that he's only got 7 infantry and Vicox has got 14 infantry. So Vicox has got twice as many infantry as Mantu, and that could be, okay, I'm not going to spoil the battle, but that may be decisive and pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Now I'm moving my 17 units of Sacred Band units towards the enemy pikes there. Of course, I'm going to be vastly outnumbered by the pikes, and as I say, our Germanic general JGP is going to have to be extremely careful and extremely battlefield aware with the way that he moves his Germanic army around the battlefield with all those pikes. As I say, remember, barbarian troops like Germania will die quickly on enemy pikes, so he needs to be very careful how he handles that barbarian Germanic army there. As I say, you can see Scorpion King here running his troops forward. As I say, he just wants to get in range of those enemy pikes there so he can throw loads of his pilers into them to damage them before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting there. You can see a lot of dead Macedonians there. I think that's where his cavalry smashed into the rear of a Macedonian unit there as it was moving away there. So that's why there's so many Macedonian dead pikemen there. But remember, Scorpion King's lost a lot of his cavalry to those chariots there, so he's going to have to be careful there coming up against these well-upgraded companion cavalry there of the Macedonian general. You can see the Macedonian general charging back in there, trying to get Scorpion King's cavalry, but I think the Macedonian general needs to pull his cavalry back now because Scorpion King's infantry is just coming into the fray there. So that was a good tactical withdrawal there from the Macedonian cavalry. You see him charging forward there. bang, as it charges in there. You can see the Macedonian cavalry and Scorpion King's cavalry charging in there, but it looks to me like the Macedonian cavalry outnumber Scorpion King's cavalry there. And there's another chariot hitting. Can you see there's another chariot hit there from Barclayman? But if you notice, can you see how Scorpion King has got his infantry set now? They're not moving. So he's not going to suffer the same casualties as he did when his troops were moving. In fact, he will suffer minimal casualties now. And those that chariot unit will probably rout without killing too many of his men, because his infantry aren't moving. Remember, that's the difference of the damage that a chariot unit can do to moving infantry, which we saw earlier, and cavalry, than set infantry and cavalry there. So that unit would have routed by now, I'm guessing, there. But there you can see those Macedonian and Seleucid pikes of Aurelius there moving towards Scorpion King's infantry there. And as I say, Scorpion King might say, well, thanks very much, I'll throw all my pilers into you and then back off. That's what he may well be thinking there. Okay, but you can see there all those pikes, and then you can see that the Pontus pikes of Barclayman there are setting up behind. So Scorpion King may want to back his infantry off after he's thrown his pilers, as I'm sure he doesn't want to. There you are. Now that chariot unit there has now run amok, so that'll please Barclayman now, because that could do quite a lot of damage to Scorpion King's army there, as those run amok chariots start chopping down his infantry and cavalry there. As I say, they do seem to be even more powerful when they run amok than they do in normal mode there, and that's what Barclayman was after when he charged in his chariots there, just hoping that they would run amok and kill even more of Scorpion King's army there. Okay, so there's a general overview of the battle there. Can you see there, that's let's say a Mantu trying to shadow Vicox's Roman infantry there. There's his dog units there, his 7 war dog units there. Be interesting to see how he uses those during the course of battle. Remember, they do bring a fear factor. They actually do bring a fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops. And as I say, you can see the Seleucid cavalry out there, the well upgraded cataphracts there. And you can see over here, you can see, I think it's the Germanic cavalry of JGP has had a fight with some of Vicox's cavalry there. So that looks like it was a tough battle there. And you can see Vicox here moving a cavalry unit around the flank. And there you can see the Seleucid cataphracts of Aurelius there getting ready to charge in there. And you can see there that you can see all the enemy pikes starting to form up there. That's going to be a massive pike formation there once they settle. And as I say, Scorpion King, I'm sure, still got a lot of his pilers left that he's looking to throw into those pike units there if he gets the chance. But a lot of pikes there. As I say, I've got my 17 Sacred Band spear units there, and you can see why I've bought 17 now, when you could see the the enemy factions we were facing. But that cavalry out on our flank there could well be a problem. And as I say, Mantu's got 7 Roman infantry against 14 of Vicox's there. And you can see Aurelius there moving his pikes over to integrate them more with his allies' pikes there. Just look at that massive pike formation the enemy are forming. Right, can you see Scorpion King moving forward there with his army? As I say, he's still going to have pilers there. But if you look at his infantry, can you see how battle depleted some of his units look already before he even gets into hand-to-hand fighting? Just looking at them, you can see that they've been battle depleted there. Okay, you can see I'm moving my Carthage Sacred Band forward there towards the enemy troops, the enemy pikes there. Okay, and you can see Scorpion King moving round to the right flank there. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm just going to share some thoughts with you about what I'm going to do, give you a heads up on what I'm going to do. Now, we know I've got Sacred Band Spearmen, we know that they're very well upgraded, and we know that they punch way above their weight when they fight the 121-man pike units. Okay, we know that Carthage punches way above its weight when it comes against those Carthage Sacred Band unit. The Carthage Sacred Band units that come against those 121-man units. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is advancing my spears straight into the middle of those pike, that pike formation there, with the idea to punch a hole straight through that pike formation there. That's what I'm thinking about doing. No subtle, clever, delicate tactical moves here. Just kind of a smash in there. You know, like kind of a blunt force trauma straight into those pikes. As I say, no tactical, subtle moves here. Just try and smash into them. And what I'm hoping is, I don't know whether I'll be able to punch a hole through those pikes, but I'm hoping to cause so much carnage and casualties that they're going to have to start bringing reinforcements in to hold up the centre of that pike formation there. And hopefully if they do that, my allies might be able to take advantage of that. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking there. I'm thinking my allies could get round the flank there if they haven't to start bringing reinforcements over there to support the centre. Okay, and as I say, if you notice here, can you see that JGP is splitting his Germanic army up into those little mini armies now? Okay, where he's going to start looking to move them tactically and strategically around the battlefield to get maybe in behind those pike units if he can. Okay, so watch out for that, because that would be a very good tactical and strategic move for him there. Okay, but as I say, for me, no subtle, clever, you know, tactical moves here. I'm just going to charge my spearmen straight into the centre of that pike battle formation there, blunt force trauma attack, and try and punch a hole through those pikes there, and hopefully cause so many casualties that they'll have to bring reinforcements in to try and shore up their centre there. And as I say, if they do that, that may well open opportunities for my allies. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Don't forget, that's my tactical thoughts there. Just try and punch a hole through that massive pike formation that's in front of me there. Okay, so that's what the thought is there. Just so you can see the Pontus pikes there and the Macedonian pikes forming up. So that's going to be some kind of a pike formation for me to try and break through there. Over here on our left there, you'll see that Vicox is getting his cavalry around the left side there, as you can see there, and you can see the cavalry and infantry starting to move around the flank there. So Mantu's going to have to be very, very tactically aware there of what's happening, and be very battlefield aware as well, to be able to keep shadowing Vicox's Brutii infantry there. Right, but so as I say there, you're going to see me now smash straight into that pike formation there, and as I say, Scorpion King may well try and get around the flank of the enemy troops there if I can hold and pin enough enemy pike units there. Okay, so they were they got that first like kind of pilot shield unit in front of their battle formation, which I'm going to obviously have to attack first there. So there you are, you can see me moving forward now. 17 Sacred Band spear units, most of them with 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So I'm going to attack, as I say, that pilot shield unit. Now as I'm doing that, can you see Scorpion King is also moving his troops around the flank? Okay, so if you just look at that pike formation in front of me there, that's what I'm going to try and smash through, and try and, as I say, punch a hole right through the centre of it there. That's what I'm going to do. And if you notice there, you've got the Macedonian pikes and the Pontus pikes there waiting for me there, and you can see Aurelius' Seleucid pikes facing the Julii infantry of Scorpion King on our right flank. Okay there, so you can see, right, let's pause again for a second here. So can you see there that Mantu has spread his infantry out there trying to shadow the enemy infantry there? Okay, now the enemy cavalry would like to get in behind and smash into the rear of my engaged troops there. Okay, but I say Mantu's trying to shadow them there, and he's got his cavalry there as well, and he's got his dog units, plus you've got the Germanic cavalry there trying to, as I say, counter the enemy moves here. There you can see them moving forward there. Can you see intimidated by nearby enemy? If you read there, you'll see intimidated by nearby enemy. And what they're intimidated by are these war dogs. As I say, war dogs do bring a fear factor. I'm not sure how much of a fear factor they bring, but they do bring a bit of a fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops there. That's why they're intimidated. But anyway, you can see there, Scorpion King now has moved his Julii infantry around the flank of the enemy there. Now he's looking to take full advantage of me smashing in to this pike. But just look how thick that pike formation is there, that I'm going to try and punch a hole through with my Sacred Band units. Okay? and there's a little bit of tactical and strategic move going on here, which I'll show you in a minute, okay? But the main thing is here, all I'm going to do there is just smash into those pikes and try and punch a hole right through to the back of that pike formation there. Okay, that's what I'm going to try and do. And you can see they've set all their pikes up there ready to receive my attack there. And you can see there that I'm moving forward into them. Now you might notice here that I've just moved 12 of my 17 spear units into those pikes. Can you see that? I've just moved just 12 and I'm holding 5 back. Alright, now newer players to Rome Total War, I'd like you to have a look at this. So as I say, I'm moving 12 of my 17 Sacred Band units into those Macedonian pikes. Okay, so I'm as I say, just look at the length of the short spears of my Carthage Sacred Band against the massive length of the pikes of the enemy that I'm crashing into there. Okay, but as I say, I'm moving 12 in there. Now newer players to Rome Total War, why do you think I'm keeping 5 units back? Okay, now your first thought might be I'm keeping those 5 units in reserve, 5 fresh units to throw into the battle when those 12 units get tired and battle depleted. That may well be your first thought there. Those 5 are being held back in reserve just to throw in when my those 12 units get tired and things like that. And that would be a good thought. That would be a very good tactical thought. But can you think of another equally good reason why I'm keeping 5 units back? If you just look at the enemy battle formation, just to give you a clue there. Just look at the enemy battle formation there. Why do you think I'm keeping 5 Carthage units back? Okay. Right, as I say, just look at that enemy battle formation there and think, why would I keep 5 of my Carthage units back there? If you look at the enemy battle formation there, it might just give you a clue on why I'm keeping those 5 units back. Okay, we'll just look at the length of those of the enemy battle formation there. Now, make no mistake, they are going to envelop me, and what I mean by that is they're going to bring units around my flank on either side to attack my attacking troops there. Envelopment. Okay, as my troops are pushing forward, they're going to look to envelop me on both flanks with those pikes. Okay, so the reason I've kept those 5 spear units back is because I'm anticipating that, and I'm going to counter their envelopment with my 5 spearmen that I'm keeping back. Okay, so that's why I'm keeping them back there, to counter the envelopment that I'm anticipating the enemy are going to do as my troops, as my 12 Sacred Band spearmen make inroads into that pike formation. Okay, so that's what I think is going to happen there. And I say, just look at the length of those pikes there. And as I say, these guys are going to come round there. Can you see intimidated by a nearby enemy? And that's there. You can see the Night Raiders there. They bring a fear factor, but the Berserkers, like, even though they haven't been activated, look, they still got that fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops. That's why JGP has incorporated them into my army there, to take morale away from the enemy troops as my troops attack. So nice bit of teamwork there by JGP. Okay, but meanwhile over here on that flank you'll see that Mantu there still trying to counter Vicox's move around our flank there. Okay, and with his war dogs, his infantry and his cavalry there. Okay, because they make no mistake, the enemy would like to smash into the rear of my engaged troops there. And here you'll see one of JGP's mini Germanic armies there. He won't want to take those pikemen on head on, as we talked about earlier, but what he would like to do is take that mini Germanic army in behind the enemy pikes there. Okay, so very tactical and strategic here for JGP. He's got to use his barbarian army in that way, because trying to take pikes on head on, his army would die quite quickly. As I say, you can see Scorpion King's Julia army moving forward there, but another mini army of JGP's looking to get behind the pikes of the enemy. Okay, very tactical, very strategic, very battlefield aware there. Okay, so as I say, nice move here by Scorpion King as well, with a couple of his Julia units trying to help with my attack. But as I say there, I'm trying to punch a hole, as I said, through those enemy pike, that enemy pike formation there, but I'm very, very aware of envelopment moves here by the enemy on my flanks, and that's why I've held those 5 spear units back to counter the envelopment that the enemy will want to do on the flanks of my attacking troops. As I say, those 12 units there is just blunt force trauma. They're no tactical or strategic. They're just to smash a hole through the middle of those pikes there. Can you see now that the enemy are starting that envelopment movement there on my left? See how they're starting to envelop me with their pikes? So it's time for me to counter that now and move my spear units into the flank there. There you are. Look, that envelopment move is just starting there, coming in there with Pontus and Macedon pikes both turning in on the flanks of my attacking troops. So I'm now going to counter that with 2 or 3 fresh Sacred Band spearmen into their flanks there. But you can see the 12 units of my Sacred Band spearmen there. I'm countering a little bit on the right side of there as well for any attacks there, but the bulk of my Sacred Band units are still trying to punch that hole through the middle of the pike units there. Okay, now at the rear here you'll see that Vicox is starting to be very aggressive. Now you can see here that Mantu has thrown the dogs in. He's attacking with his dog units now. Look, just thrown those 7 dog units in like a bang as they charge in there. But unfortunately there you can see the dogs attacking the Roman troops, but dog units, you know, we don't see them very often on the 31k battlefield, and there's a reason for that. There you can see that the Seleucid cataphracts are charging in as well. So you've got all of Vicox's infantry there moving in, and over here you'll see that the well upgraded cataphracts of the Seleucids there would love to smash into the rear of my engaged troops, as would Vicox's cavalry as well. If they can break Mantu at the rear here, make no mistake, they will then smash into the rear of our engaged troops there. You can see those tough Seleucid well upgraded cataphracts there. If you notice there, you'll see that most of them have drawn their maces, so they've been auto-attacked and using their effective against armor maces on Mantu's cavalry there. Okay, but there you are. There's a general overview of what's happening here. You can see that Scorpion King's really aggressively attacking on the right flank. JGP's got one of his mini Germanic armies with berserkers. He's got in round behind there. I believe he's got a berserker unit in amongst that mini army. There you are. So he's got axemen, and he's got Knight Raiders and a berserker unit there that he's going to throw in behind the enemy pikemen there. Really nice tactical and strategic move there. And over here he's got another one of his mini Germanic armies there. I'm pretty sure he's going to swing that army around there, come in wide in behind the enemy troops and smash into the rear of them there with his Germanic, another mini Germanic army. Nice move there. But the main thing is, at the moment, Mantu is trying to hold this massive attack by Vicox and the cavalry of Aurelius. If they break through Mantu's line there, make no mistake, they will smash into the back of my fighting Carthage troops there. You can see there my counter-attack on that envelope movement there of the enemy troops there. I'm attacking the flank there. Let's say Scorpion King doing really well there on this right flank, really aggressively attacking the enemy. Okay, but as I say, just look at the back there. You can see Mantu's troops starting to rout as the enemy are coming in behind us there. Let's say, remember, Scorpion King's red Julii infantry there. Looks like they've surrounded the Seleucid pikemen of Aurelius. Could come in from all different angles there. But as I say, at the back here, can you see a lot of Mantu's troops have cracked after a massive fight there and are starting to break. And that means that the Seleucid cavalry and the Brutii cavalry there can now smash into the rear of us. There's Germanic units have routed as well. Just look at all that enemy cavalry in behind us now, ready to smash into the rear of us. So as you can see there, the battle will probably be over pretty quickly there, I would think there, as that cavalry smashes in. As I say, I'm still trying to smash a hole through those pikes there, as well as countering the envelopment movement of the enemy troops there. They say that those 12 Sacred Band units is just blunt force trauma there, trying to smash through that pike battle formation there. But as I say here, you can see now, remember the green and the silver Seleucids there are the enemy, and there looks like they've broken through Mantu's defensive cord there. Can you see they're now can smash into the rear of our troops? Looks to me like they're heading towards a couple of Scorpion King's engaged infantry there. So as I say there, you can see there a lot of Mantu's troops are broken, and there you are. Aurelius is well upgraded. I think were the 8 upgrades there have broken through there. Here you can see one of JGP's Germanic army is trying to hold up some of the enemy Brutii infantry there. And over here there's some more of Vicox's infantry engaging Mantu's infantry there, all the time looking to try and break through there and smash into our rear there. As I say, Scorpion King's doing really well with his red Julii army there against the Seleucids, and there's some Pontus. There's those Thracian mercenaries there fighting some of Scorpion King's infantry. And there you can you see that berserker unit there? Now what Barclayman's going to do with that fast moving general unit is try and draw that berserker unit away from the battle. Remember, a berserker unit will chase the nearest enemy unit. It's completely out of the control of its general, and Barclayman knows that and may well take that berserker unit away from the battle there. Here's another berserker unit that's been activated. See the red banner flashing there? Just taking out a Macedon unit there, and there's another mini Germanic army hopefully heading into the rear of the enemy troops there. But there's so much going on here, some really good tactical and strategic moves there by both teams. But as I say, this breakthrough here of the enemy troops, broken through Mantu's defence line here, looks like he's going to smash in to a couple of Scorpion King's infantry units there that are engaged. Look, and bang, as they smash in there. Oh my gosh, looks to me like both of those units of Scorpion Kings have now routed. Oh my gosh, you can see Mantu bringing some more of his cavalry in there, trying to counter those Seleucid cataphracts there. But here you can see a lot of Mantu's infantry are starting to be rolled up from left to right with cavalry and infantry there. Oh my gosh, just look at our rear now. It's pretty well open to being attacked by the enemy troops. My Sacred Band spearmen are still trying to punch a hole through that pike formation there. Can you see I'm still advancing forward there? Still trying to punch a hole right through, but there's some Germanic troops of JGP in behind us there. Can you see I've got a Carthage Sacred Band fighting in a lot of different directions there, but great tactical and strategic move here by JGP. Brought these Germanic troops round from that flank, and remember he brought some Germanic troops round from this flank as well, Axemen and Knight Raiders there, and he's going to charge into the back of those engaged Macedonian pikemen there, while my infantry are attacking as well. Hammer and anvil attack there. Over here you can see all these pike units are spare now. Look, all those enemy units are spare. They can either attack my Carthage troops there, or maybe all charge into Scorpion King's Julii troops there. But all those pike units are spare. As I say, they've ready for action. Over here the Germanic cavalry there of JGP there, fighting those enemy Brutii infantry there, doing really well. But as I say, if the enemy charge into our rear there, we could be in real trouble. There you can see Vicox there moving some of his infantry forward there. But there's lots going on all over this battlefield at the moment. Really good tactical and strategic moves by both teams there. Right, can you see this hammer and anvil attack? My Sacred Band spearmen being the anvil, and those Germanic troops being the hammer. Charging in there into the rear of those pike units there. Nice move there by JGP. And we've finally done it. My Sacred Band spearmen, with the help of Germania, we've managed to smash through that massive pike formation I was trying to break through there. So it's a nice combination attack there by JGP's Germania and my Sacred Band spearmen there. We've routed all those pikes that I was facing there. Nice, as I say, nice teamwork there by JGP. Just look at the piles of dead there, laying in the long grass. Oh my gosh, you could just see how many have been killed there. But as I say, all these here, these Seleucid pikes and these Macedonian pikes are all spare. They're not fighting at the moment, they're just stood there. So the enemy team could move them in any direction at any time. Vicox here, I think, has basically defeated Mantu, and he's got his green Brutii army ready to throw into the fray there. As I say, can you see this berserker unit chasing this Macedonian cavalry unit there? They could just draw that berserker unit away from the battle if they wanted to there. But anyway, you can see Vicox's army closing it. Now I don't really, as I talked about earlier, I don't like putting my Carthage Sacred Band up against Rome. Carthage doesn't do very good against Rome in general. and I certainly don't want to be caught between Pontus pikes and Rome. Can you see that Pontus pike unit moving in, and those Brutii infantry of Vicox? I certainly don't want to be caught in kind of a vice attack by them, so I'm going to up spears and run over there and help my other units against those Macedonian units there. As I say, I don't want to get caught in a vice attack between those Pontus pikemen there and those Brutii infantry. So I'm going to up spears. Can you see I've up spears now, and I'm going to run over to my other units over there. As I say, I don't really want to get caught by Roman infantry if I can possibly help it. So as I say, you can see me moving my Carthage Sacred Band over there now to help take out those two Macedonian pike units that are there. And you can see the enemy starting to move towards my Carthage Sacred Band units. I might have to use my spear units to maybe hold up the enemy troops there, where my allies get organised there behind me. But you can see there, you've got the pikes there of Pontus, Barclayman there, and you've got the Roman infantry of Vicox, Brutii infantry there moving forward as well. And you've got rallied pike units of Macedon as well there, and you've got more Roman enemy infantry coming in from the flank. So what I'm hoping here, I'm hoping my allies can take out those last Seleucid pike units there. Can you see how they got them surrounded, coming in from different angles there? So they should be able to take those Seleucid pikemen out. You've got a couple of berserker units in there as well. And I'm hoping they can organise themselves there, ready to take on the enemy troops. What I'm going to do with my Carthage troops now, I'm going to turn and face the threat and try and slow down the enemy advance with my Carthaginians there, as my allies hopefully take out those Seleucid troops and then get organised to counter the enemy troops coming in on us there. Now, if they could take out the Seleucid general, take the morale away from Seleucid, that would be really good. And there you are, they've just killed the Seleucid general. So all those Seleucid units now have been routed. Okay, all those units have been routed. As I say, I'm going to use my Carthage Sacred Band to try and slow down the enemy attack. As I say, I don't like fighting Roman infantry with my Sacred Band there, but I'm going to do it anyway just to hold them up. And you can see there's Pontus pikemen coming in on me as well. And I'm just hoping my allies can organise quickly to take advantage maybe of this, getting behind them, things like that, getting on their flank. You've got the berserker units charging forward, but my units, I would think, are going to start to rout soon. They're very battle depleted, they're tired, their morale's going to be low. There's one unit there that's already started to rout there, as those Pontus pikes and those Brutii Roman troops charging. You've got some rallied companion Macedonian cavalry charging into the rear of our engaged troops. I think that's my general. Has just been taken out by Brutii infantry there. So I lost a general morale bonus as well at this stage of the battle, and you can start to see some of my Carthage Sacred Band units starting to rout. So I think the end of the battle is pretty near there, and I think the enemy team look to me like they're going to prevail. Where you got Brutii infantry kind of coming behind us there, all that Brutii infantry going to attack there. So let's say we've got some Germanic infantry there that might come in behind the enemy troops. That would be a good move. Mantu's got some rallied infantry units he's brought back into the fray as well. But as I say, you can see my Carthaginians there trying to act like an anchor there, trying to hold up the enemy team when my allies get in behind them. But you can see a lot of my Carthaginians starting to rout now. As I say, they've been fighting for a long time. They're tired, battle depleted. Their morale will be very low, and you can see a lot of my Carthaginian army starting. And just look at the enemy closing in. Look at that green Brutii infantry closing in now on our troops there. And you can see my Carthage Sacred Band unit starting to crack now. As I say, they've been fighting all the way through for most of the battle, haven't they? And they're starting to rout big time now. If we just pause the game for a second there, you can see there they fought down to quite good there. Fought down to 5 men that unit. Look, fought down to 3 men in that unit, 4 men in that unit before they routed. Look, what's that? 1 man fought down to 1 man before it routed there. 6 men in there. So you can see the bulk of my army is starting to rout now under the pressure of the enemy troops. I just hope my allies can maybe pull this out of the fire now. But you can see that I think the writing's on the wall now. You can see all my troops starting to rout, or a lot of my troops starting to rout now. And I think the way that JGP has handled Germania in this battle has been exemplary, I think myself. Absolutely really well done to JGP. The tactical and strategic movements that he's done with his army and the battlefield awareness of the whole team, I think has been really good there. Oh, we've just routed the Brutii general. That's good news for us, and we're now starting to put pressure on. Look at those Germanic axemen and knight raiders attacking the enemy Brutii infantry there. Oh my gosh, it looks like we could go on to win this battle. Now we're just a couple of enemy units left. Let's pause the game for a second. There you are. Let's see. Scorpion King's just got 2 men left in his general unit, including his general. Looks like his general's lost his sword there. He's just going to try punching the enemy there. Look, by the looks of it, lost his sword during the course of the battle there. Look, looks like he's going to get. Oh, he's just got knocked down there. Look, Scorpion King's general just got knocked down by that green bully there. Look, that bully there. He just knocked him down. You can see he didn't have a sword and just knocked him onto his back there. What a bully there. And the general stood back up and said, come on then. And now they're running now. Look, all the Brutii troops are running there. And it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. Oh my gosh. Talk about a close battle there. I mean, oh my gosh. I genuinely thought when I saw all that Brutii infantry left that, you know, we lost this, but we managed to win it. And if we go all the way over here, look. This is where, if you remember, Scorpion King lost a heck of a lot of his cavalry and infantry from those chariots attack that Barclayman threw in there. Especially his cavalry. Just look at that. But also, look at the infantry as well. So he lost all these troops before they really got into hand-to-hand fighting with any infantry. Then over here, you can see that's a group of dead Macedonians there. I think he hit them when they were moving with cavalry there. Another group there. As we come to the edge of this particular woods here, you can see where he was hit with chariots again, look, chopping down a lot of his troops there. And this is where he was skirmishing with the Macedonian general with the cavalry and pikes there, if you remember correctly. Of course, with the long grass there, you can't see the bodies that clearly, but you can see, I think you can see him clearly enough just to see how intense the fighting was. This is where the enemy broke through there, through Mantu's line, and came into the rear of us there. But here you can see, once again, a big battle there. Looks like cavalry there as we move over here. This is where Scorpion King was attacking on this right flank, aided by one of JGP's mini armies there. They did really well here on this flank as they attacked. And as we move over here into the centre, this is where my Carthage Sacred Band were doing that blunt force trauma attack straight into the Macedonian lines there. And over here you can see another massive part of the battle there. I think that's where JGP was charging a lot of his Germanic troops in there. But as I say, you can just see the amount of dead to show how intense the fighting was here. And just if we have a look at the units left there, you'll see there our Scorpion King got 2 men left in his general unit, as we saw earlier, and he's got 4 other units, very battle damaged units left as well. So he had 5 units left at the end of the battle there. So that just goes to show how intense the fighting was. And I think Mantu might have 4 units left once again, or 5 units. They're very battle depleted there, at 5 men in that unit. So as I say, the units that we've got left, very, very battle depleted there. As I say, JGP splitting his Germanic army into 3 mini armies, each mini army with a berserker. Really, I think he played that extremely well there. Lots of good tactical and strategic moves by both teams, and some great battlefield awareness as well there. As I say, our team has managed to go on to to win the battle there. I think there might be just 1 unit left of enemy troops there. There you are. Vicox has got 1 unit left. Wouldn't surprise me if he admitted defeat. There you are. He's just admitted defeat there. So as I say, I think we snatched victory from the jaws of defeat there, I think. Okay, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played really well, guys. And as you can see, it was a close victory. I think if this game did very close, I think that would have been a very close victory there. Highest kills in the game, very, very surprisingly, went to my Carthage Sacred Band there. Very unusual for me to get highest kills these days, so very pleased with that. But look at Scorpion King, he only got 4 less kills than me. So he did really well on that right flank, attacking those Seleucid pikes. So well done to Aurelius. Now, as I say, if we get less than 1,000 kills, we're a little bit disappointed. So Aurelius will be a bit disappointed with that. But he very rarely brings Seleucid. So that would have been an experimental army. And I thought he did quite well with it, bearing in mind it was experimental. Well done to Barclayman there. He got the 3rd highest kills in the game with his Pontus army. He did really well there. So well done to Barclayman there. Especially with those chariots there. Nice tactical move there with him. Well done to Glorfindel there. Okay, now bearing in mind I think that was the first 4v4 he's ever fought on Rome Total War. That probably was a bit of a shock to him, that particular battle, because everybody else is professional RTW players there. And well done to Vicox. He got the 4th highest kills in the game there. So really well played, guys. Well done to Mantu, got some good kills. I thought he held well behind us there for as long as he did. I mean, he was holding out there. I think he actually proved a pivotal role there for how long he held out. Bearing in mind he had 7 infantry and 7 dog units. As I say, well done to Scorpion King, very aggressive, very attacking from the beginning. And well done to JGP with Germania. I thought the way that he handled Germania there during the course of that battle against 3 pike units, and a Roman unit as well, armies as well. I thought he did really well there. What about faction advantage there? Do you think the enemy team had faction advantage? Seleucid, Pontus, Macedon and Rome? Or do you think we did with Carthage, Rome and Germania? Which team do you think would be best? Anyway, I'd really like to read your comments on this battle. Is there anything you would have done differently during the course of the battle? If there is, please tell us what you would have done. And it would be really interesting to read what you think on this battle. Spartan Commander saying bye for now.